It's a beautiful Sunday morning. The clouds are overhead. The breeze is chilly. The morning's quiet. I can't believe this is mine. Good morning, world. Like I said, it's like the last Sunday of fall, actually, calendar-wise. The autumn season ends next Sunday, and we begin our winter solstice. I love that somebody just put, instead of cleaning up the poop, they just put an orange flag. Thank you very much. It's trail etiquette, I suppose. So yeah, it's the last Sunday of fall, of autumn season. And next week we transition back into winter, which is funnily enough when I began this series. So first off, to say that I've almost made it a whole year, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Did not have any intentions or expectations when I just started doing these video journals. I just thought it would be fun to take a walk and talk, because I'm already doing that naturally. So there might be somebody who wants to listen to whatever I'm talking about. Who knows? And as I prepare for the transition into another season, I keep thinking about, what do each of these seasons represent? Like, what does it mean to be in autumn versus be in winter? And not only, in our current time frame and understanding, but, how did that translate, deeper into the past as well? Seasons exist even before we put a calendar or created time. There's always been these natural states and flows of the world, and it can be that's nothing we can control. We're living in the Anthropocene age. Anthropocene, yes, where we are really changing the way the earth is in order to fit our needs. But before that, the world was the world and we adapted to it. And I like to live my life that way. I was doing some reflecting this morning, and why do I feel more empowered at different points and junctions throughout the year? And I think a big part of that is I try to live my life by the seasons, and by personal seasons, rhythmic seasons of my own life, not necessarily again what a Gregorian calendar makes and tells me to do. And that season typically consists of 3.5, 4 months. There seems to be not only ecological and climate related things that coincide with the season, but also mindsets and rhythms within my own internal body. As winter pulls up and we've been getting a lot more darkness and cold days, I naturally, along with most people, probably shift inward. There's a lot of time for analysis, introspection, imagination. I consider writing season, as you can tell, I consider winter writing season because of that very thing. On the contrast, it's pretty challenging to create a daily practice of writing in the summer, when it might be more outside activities, might be more travel, this, that, and the third. And I mean consistent practice of we're gonna do this once a week or once a day or something like that. And I think that some of the challenges is that because we live on this big calendar with 365 days, that's way too many days to try and keep account of things. That's way too much time to try and balance and juggle. How can you sit here and tell me what you want planned in January? You plan something in January for October, and you just have to work your way to it. That's possible. That's big vision planning, but there's also something about breaking up that plan or that goal into smaller digestible bits. And that is where the seasons come in, because there might be something that you can do in that season, what were the OG tasks that our people and our ancestors did during the seasons? similar to me. They probably weren't going out and doing a lot of like outdoor bathing activities and stuff that required a lot of movement and energy maybe in the winter. They probably did what they needed to do to survive, but I don't know. Might have been like, hey, look, we ain't doing a whole lot because ain't much to be going on anyways. So I'm really excited for the official changing of the season, even though I've already been in my winter season for the last couple of weeks, with school ending, with performances wrapping up, things of that nature. Like, it's nice to be able to feel the transition both internally and externally, and how they almost kind of like mirror each other. It's a cool concept. So that's a nice little intro. I actually did have like a somewhat specific thing I wanted to engage and talk about today, and it falls under the umbrella of culture and humans and connectivity, so it's all there. But what I'm thinking about today is how, not just how, but the whole concept of relation, not just between humans, but like what is the concept of relation? Like, what does it mean to relate to something, to be in relationship with a thing? You know, we the word relationship is like so used. It's everywhere. It's like everything that we think about. Most of what we do in today's times is about our relationships, whether to ourselves, to our friends, to our neighbors, to our strangers. I mean, the whole concept of social media, even this right here is a form of relating. So what does it really mean to relate? Also, just look at this. Oh gosh, and my fingers are a little chilly. So nice out here. I love it. But yes, relating. It's a core need. Like, not just like a human being can't live in isolation. That's just true, valid facts. Like, you can't live in isolation and be a human being. Like, in order to be a human being, you have to be like within a culture or a condition. Like, a human has to teach you how to be a human. That's just it. Because if not, you never learn what we constitute as humanity in today's times. And that's a very broad statement. But there are some like universalities that we might be able to find amongst the globe in what it means to be human. And I think that one of those is like relating with others. Or just relating in general. Like, humans have to relate themselves to their environment. Like, you can't, we don't live in a vacuum. Although that would be wild if a human did live in a vacuum. We'll say that for a story idea. You can't live in a vacuum. You have to live with your environment. You have to live with the sun and the ground and the animals and the like multi-species. You have to live with them, whether you want them or not. And that can be everything from the birds that chirp outside to the corner spider that lives in your house. Like, how do we, what is it that like connects us to all of this? Why do we have this intrinsic need to learn about the world and about ourselves and about each other? It's because we want to relate. We want to dissolve the barrier of difference between us and these things. To say that both the earth and I operate in seasons, that's a form of relation. What? Like, that's powerful to be able to have too. To say like, I am able to relate to this. Because when you have a relation with something, that now becomes part of your skill set or your tool bag or your ledger of whatever. It just adds to your personal experience. So there is definitely like a selfish benefit to relating to everything. But then, what is it specific about us humans relating to each other? And I come at this as somebody who has a lot of relationships in my life. And I don't just mean like romantic or anything like that. Like, when I look at the full spectrum of my life, like, I have plenty of relationships, some that are physically close, some that are emotionally close, some that are halfway across the world, some that are transient, some that are familial, some that are patient provider. Like, oh, listen to him. There it goes. You hear it? It's just beautiful. And like, and this could be something also about like Western culture. Like, why is it that isn't it funny that we call friendship even though it is a relationship? Like, what if we what if the word friend was not in our existence? And like, whenever we were talking about somebody, like, oh, this is my relator, like, this is who I relate to, this is who I'm in relationship with, like, these aren't friendships, these are relationships. They fall under, the reason we call them friendships is because there's specified parameters that somebody has arbitrarily chosen to say that if you fit these categories, that makes you a friend. But if you fit these categories, what does that make you? And if you fit these categories, what does that make you? Because you don't do the things that the friend does. Well, then that's the bigger question. That's when you scale back and you look and see that, oh, all of this falls under the giant umbrella of relationship. Which, once again, what is it that we want in our relationships? What is it that we offer? Why do we peer deeper and deeper into ourselves and into these unknown variables that surround us? Taking risks. Because, I think that's part of it too, is like, if you want to be in relationships with people, and and again, this isn't just like a romance, like I'm talking about big capital R relationship, not like, oh, this is my relationship or my partner. Like, that's a whole nother video discussion of partnership versus relationship. But like, why we have to take risks in order to build relationships. It's a matter of reciprocity, right? I have to be willing to give you something from my world that I might consider valuable or sacred or very important, or something I might be scared of or excited to share or have never shared before. And you have to be willing to receive that and maybe even offer something in return. And it doesn't always have to be like an immediate offer. I feel like sometimes we can, especially in conversation, you can get into this like back and forth of exchange. And sometimes sometimes the best conversations you can have is you listening to somebody for that conversation, maybe not exchanging as much from your own, but then opening up the idea to exchange later on at a different time, because maybe this is a time that like reciprocity doesn't always have to be done immediately. Like, that can sometimes get more into that transactional general reciprocity, as opposed to something that's like beneficial, where like, oh, I can just like come on over and we can talk about this thing another time. Like, it doesn't always have to be paid up front or like returned. An equal value has to be returned then. And I just wonder, like, what would our relationships look like if they were able to more divest from that capitalistic transactional mindset? Like, what if we were really able to just, I don't know, like, share without feeling like, okay, now you have to share, or because you shared, I have to share something. Like, what if it's just like, I'm just here to be with you? And maybe that can sometimes be enough. But that is also like one of the other risks when it comes to building relationship, is that you have to step out of your world and sometimes, or oftentimes, enter another unknown place. And it doesn't always mean a physical world, but you have to step out of what you consider your norm and comfort and be invited into somebody else's place or something else's place. And when you're invited, like, you don't want to just muck it up. So you start to think about like your behaviors, your thoughts, your actions. How am I going to show up in this relationship if this is a relationship that is valuable to me? How is it that I can be a good adult son to my parents who are growing older? How is it that I can be a good provider to these patients who might come in with anxiety about their teeth? How is it that I can connect with audience members while I'm standing on a stage and there's a huge gap, both physically and creatively, between us? Like, those that invitation into the world leads to the decisions that you want to make. Because if it's a world that you want to be in or be involved in, you're going to want to respect it. You're going to want to take care of it. You're going to want to do what you can to make that world better, quote unquote, because better is very subjective in itself. But like, the number one thing though is like, when it comes to relating, and let's say you're the person who's inviting somebody into your world, like, it really helps if you can, if you have an idea of what you would like them to do in the world. And it doesn't have to be an exact like expectation, like this is what you're gonna do and this is what you're gonna do. Once again, that leads into like transactional corporate mindset, like bureaucratic relationship of like, I'm gonna delegate these tasks to you and that's what I want you to do the way that I want them done. Like, I think that if there's no room for flexibility, that can easily turn into something unhealthy. So you want to be able to like have a general idea of what you would like the people that you invite into your world to do. Like, what place and space do you want? That is when you get to look deeper into those smaller umbrellas, from relationship to, oh, this is going to be like a deep friendship. This is going to be my outdoor dance friends. This is going to be my cozy poetry community. This is going to be somebody I'm interested in romantically. Like, that's when you begin to put all that together. But it really starts with first, like, taking the time to understand what the relationship is and how does each person, or how does each thing show up in that relationship. You know, it's, if I know that the earth is going to show up every 3-4 months, the temperature's going to change, the sky is going to get darker, those things are happening, then I'm also going to think about, like, again, my actions and my behaviors. If the world is changing and it's inviting me into itself, which it always is because we live on the planet, then I want to learn how to adapt to it. I want to be able to change my behaviors in order to continue relating to it the best way possible. That looks like wearing warmer clothes when it gets colder outside. That might look like days and works and things maybe shifting in order to get acclimated to the amount of light or darkness in the sky. Like, those are already ways that we connect and relate to our planet. So how is it that, like, how can we take those skills, translate it over to relating and connecting with other people? It's like, one, understanding that people are very much like the earth and they have their seasons, and we'll always do different things, we'll change, we'll move. And I think one of the best things about being in relationships with people, humans in general, is not only do you get a deeper understanding of like yourself, what it means to be on this planet, but like, you get to share in an experience that, again, blurs that line of difference between you and another person, or a group of people, or an entire culture or civilization. And once you blur those lines a bit, you start to recognize that, wow, you truly aren't as different as we thought. And that's what you start to end up like celebrating, is the commonalities that exist even amidst the differences between us. And that right there, I feel like that is the core of relating, not just again to people, but to the planet, to ourselves, is recognizing what's similar even amidst all the things that might make us a little bit unique and different. So go out there and take some risks with your relationship.